In this video, we're going to show you how to install the upper ball joint on your Cadillac Escalade, located right behind the front wheel. Using your pry tool, you want to go ahead and locate this little notch on the center cap. Pop it in there and remove the center cap. Once that's off, use your 22mm socket to loosen and remove the lug nuts. Remove the wheel and set it aside. On the back side right here, there's a 10mm bolt holding our front flex hose and our ABS wire. Just go ahead and loosen and remove this bolt. We're going to disconnect our level sensor rod from this plate that we just unbolted. Just going to use a trim tool and gently twist that and pop this off. It's just a ball-on socket. Pop that up out of the way. We're going to use our trim tool again on the side here and disconnect our ABS wire from this bracket. By doing this here, we have separated everything connected to our upper control arm, so we can drop that suspension down without having anything bind. Now the upper ball joint here comes through the knuckle and goes to an 18mm nut on the bottom side. I want to go ahead and loosen this. We're going to use our box wrench here. Now, if you have a gear wrench, that'll be perfect. You can't really fit a ratchet in there because of the spacing between the CV axle. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and release the pry bar, and as I'm doing so, you can see the ball joint coming up and out of the knuckle. Go ahead and pivot that back a little bit, and that's going to allow us some access to our ball joint here. Now we have our ball joint press set up on here to go ahead and press this ball joint out of the control arm. Go ahead and pull our ball joint up and out. Now in the upper control arm here where the new ball joint is going to get pressed into, I want to make sure that it's clean of any burrs, rust, anything like that. I'm just going to use some 400 grit sandpaper and just kind of clean this up a little bit. I don't want to take any metal off. I just want to make sure that any rust or anything that's going to cause additional resistance is removed, making it easier for us to install. Now that we have our ball joint set in the control arm, we have our ball joint press set up. Let's go ahead and work this in. Once you have that seated, go ahead and remove the tool. Now, once you have your ball joint pressed in all the way and it's fully seated, if you look on the bottom side here, there's going to be an exposed groove. You want to make sure that that groove is fully visible. And what we're going to do is that's going to allow for us to install a snap ring. Here's our snap ring here. So what we want to do is bring this up, and we're going to use our snap ring pliers to open that up, bring that up, and put it into that groove. That's going to work as a lock to keep this ball joint from ever coming out from the control arm. Again, you can use a pry tool. I'm just using my pick to make sure that that is locked into place. Snap ring is secured. Our ball joint is installed. Make sure your ABS wire is to the right of the control arm. Once that ball joint comes through the bottom side of the knuckle, go ahead and install the nut. If it's not poking through all the way yet, you can go ahead and use your mallet. Tap that in. Go ahead and snug that into position. Once the upper ball joint nut is secure, go ahead and lower your jack. We now install our bracket. Let's go ahead and snug down that bolt. Once that bolt bottoms out, just going to go ahead and snug that down gently. Don't want to over tighten it. So once that bottoms out, about a quarter of a turn, you can grab your level sensor rod here. I'm going to push this up in a position and go ahead and push that onto the socket. Might need a pair of pliers here to gently pop that into place. Okay. Sensor's connected. We'll go ahead and install this harness right here into this tab. Now you want to go ahead and torque the upper ball joint nut to 37 foot-pounds. Once you get to that 37 foot-pounds, you now want to do 90 degrees on that final torque spec. In our case here, we're going to use our wrench to get on in there and tighten that down. Go ahead and install your wheel. And let's get our lug nuts on. Let's go ahead and torque our lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds. Install a center cap, line that up, press it on.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.